this feminized society, men who act like women are clearly preferred to men who act like men. We live in touchy-feely times, and public figures like Princess Di, like Tony Blair, have promoted the idea of embracing, of caring, sharing, emoting, effectively stigmatizing traditional masculinity.
You know, in my lifetime, I've actually seen things that we valued from men be devalued. Toughness, strength, tolerance, the ability to not talk about something, the ability to let things be.
The values associated with men have been said to be wrong, illegitimate, or undesirable. Values such as stoicism, the old stiff upper lip, keeping your emotions bottled up. We're told on the contrary, everything has to be out in the open, nothing must be repressed, we must wear our hearts on our sleeves and our tears on our cheeks.
I remember an interesting report which was issued by the relationship organization Relate, where they actually confessed that although women said they wanted their men to become more emotional and get in touch with their emotions and share their vulnerability, when the men did actually do this, the women didn't fancy them anymore. And I thought, what a ghastly betrayal. You lured men into recreational weeping only to say, we don't fancy you anymore and we've lost respect for you. Please be a bastard again. Terrible.
Britain's now got a cappuccino culture, and just as the simple, straightforward English cup of tea has been discarded in favour of continental frothiness, so the stiff upper lip of the traditional Englishman now looks completely outdated compared with freshly moisturised new man. Even the landscape around us is being feminised. Women have bars aimed at them, cars aimed at them. There are now decent pub lunches rather than curled-up sandwiches. All these things show that the growing economic power of women is ushering in an era dominated by females and feminine values. One male response has been reactionary, to dive headfirst into lad culture. Many younger men take refuge in beer, birds and football, much to the disgust of women. But is the fashion for laddism and loutishness a desperate cry for help from a drowning gender? I wanted to know what the 30-something male feels about men's current situation, so I met up with the journalist Piers Hernu. Piers, you write for Lads magazine. Yeah. Would you regard yourself as a lad?
Very much so, I think. Writing for men's magazines, you have to be in touch with men, and I've always regarded myself as a man's man, if you like. I have certain values that I hold dear. I like the company of men, and I like generally how men behave.
Do you think the idea of the lad, the new lad, is in some way a response to what's going on in society?
Yes, I think certainly it's a reasserting of sort of male values with the advent of Loaded magazine and bands like Oasis, kind of reintroducing a bit of a swagger back into the male psyche.
The serious point here is if society is being feminized, you know, what's happened to the middle ground for men of, you know, sort of stiff upper lip, reticent, decent, middle ground men?
It doesn't leave a lot of room for manoeuvre because you're sort of vilified if you reject the new touchy-feely, let's talk about our feelings. But we never did talk about our feelings. It was always the male way to internalise them and let them be dealt with that way. There's nothing wrong with the stiff upper lip. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to talk about something or to, you know, go into some big group hug or to discuss my childhood or something like that. You know, it's like that. It just doesn't work, and I won't be forced into it.
What do you think are the special qualities that men have and women don't?
We're more competitive, we're more aggressive, we're more rational, we're more logical, we're more interested in how things work. You know, we want to take things apart and analyse them. Women don't know how a light bulb works. They don't want to know. It's not their business. If they're not interested, they're not interested. They don't know about, you know, mechanics and cars and things like that.
And you think those male virtues are important or vital or what?
I think they're absolutely crucial. Without that, I can't see society moving forward one step, really.
So truly feminized society, in your view, would be disaster, would it?
Yes, I think it would be like an aeroplane with one wing, you know, much bigger than the other. It just wouldn't fly, or it would fly straight into the ground, and, you know, there'd be a great deal of trauma. In many ways, we're slaves to our own lechery, and that's our fault. But women know that, and they can make us jump through fiery hoops to get what we supposedly want. And that goes on an awful lot, and it's rather humiliating, I can tell you. Well, I'm sure you know.
Well, not in this century.